second, I would request everyone, whoever's present, to pin my video, because that is where you'll also be seeing the presentation, and I'll be talking along with the presentation over there. So please pin my video, and it'll we can make it as interactive as possible. But what we would like to do is I will run you through some of the basic things. I will take the first 10-12 minutes to introduce what Sporto Buddy is, what the offerings of Sporto Buddy are, and thereafter we will dive into the sports infrastructure bit, wherein we'll spend the maximum time, and we will I will try and explain all that goes into how the infrastructure for sports needs to get ready, and from there on we can talk. We can make it interactive. So, okay. Firstly, our company name is Loco Buddy. Sporto Buddy is a brand name of the company Loco Buddy, and by that, what we mean is that Sporto Buddy is the name that is spread everywhere. So we have the Sporto Buddy Sports Arena, which is part of the infrastructure. Whereas the Sporto Buddy brand name itself is what we want people to get used to. It is something like that. The company name is different from the brand name. So that's how it is. What we want Sporto Buddy to do is we want to build Sporto Buddy into an SaaS leader. What is SaaS? SaaS is a software as a service. So basically, wherein you come to a platform to discover different leagues, register on it, do your league management, build up your teams, build up your the entire sporting action that needs to be there, right from starting the league to getting your teams on board, getting your players on board, scheduling your entire league, and then scoring as well. That is what we want to do. That is what our thing is. Our principal investor or principal uh, the company who backs us is basically the Anchor Group. Most people should be aware of the Anchor Group, which is the one which has Anchor switches and all. So it's quite famous brand, and they have been our principal investors. So in fact, the owner of Anchor takes a very keen interest. He's himself an avid sports person. He's a fantastic bowler in the game of cricket, and extremely he's a very avid sportsman, and he takes a very keen interest. Therefore, he always wanted to promote this particular company with regards to sports. So Anchor is where we come in. On the other hand, we also have Mr. Sunil Shetty, who is a brand ambassador. So we have his guidance, his mentorship. He's the one who tells us how to navigate this entire thing when it with regards to PR, brand building, and all of that. Coming to Sporto Buddy, so as we said, it is we want to build it into a SAS model, but there are two parts to this. This is one is the online part, one is the offline part. What is the online? What is the offline? You can see in the slide. I'll just quickly explain. The first part is where you do a league management. Second is so you do your scoring of that league that you want to do. We also can do auctions. We can do venue management. So basically, if you want to list your venue tomorrow, you can list so that people can come online and book on our portal, on our website. So that's the online bit. Offline bit is you have your own venues, you have your own events, which need to be physically done on the ground. So the entire event management for clubs, corporates, individuals, colleges, corporates, everyone. So everyone can do that. Next bit is the sports tourism bit, wherein you want to go out of town. You don't want to do something in Bombay, you want to do something else outside. So what does Sporto Buddy do? We can organize the entire thing from scratch, right from getting the league management, which is the online part, then getting it offline, wherein we get all the players to come together, and then we transport them to a place depending on what you want to do, be it football or be it cricket. So I'll just give you an example wherein in one of our cricket tournaments regularly. We take all our players out of the country. So 2 years back was Sri Lanka, last year was Dubai. This year will be Thailand or Dubai, depending on the corona situation. But we do take them outside. So that bit comes in where it's called sports tourism, wherein you are promoting sports and tourism together, hand in hand. You take 100 people out, you get them to play, you expose them to the sports world over there in that other country, and alike. The last bit for offline will be coaching. So we do football and cricket coaching. We actually ally ourselves with a couple of academies with good coaches. We are also in the process of setting up our own coaching academy. So that bit will be coming in soon. So that's Sportobuddy in a nutshell. Again, some details of what's Photobuddy. So it's a sports-centric startup based in Mumbai, and we celebrate the power of sport through offering of events, content, and software. Basically, all of this was just informed by Tushar when he introduced us, and this is what we intend to do. As just to go a little deeper into what Sportobuddy is, there are three different aspects for Sportobuddy. There are three different verticals to say. The first vertical is the online model, wherein we do league management. So we have our own software, so we do league management, we do scoring and all of that. So that's one bit. The most important bit is the events, wherein we have our own events. As of today, Sportobuddy conducts anywhere between 150 to 200 T20 cricket matches season ball a year. As part of our own tournaments, we do external third party tournaments as well, which we organize for them, for people who want to do. So could it be societies, could it be it could be corporates, it could be anyone. So we do third party tournaments as well. So that's the second bit, and the last bit is infrastructure. So the infrastructure play is quite new, relatively speaking. It's only 2 years old. 2019 we built our first bit of infrastructure by installing cricket nets for people who want to practice, and this was done in South Bombay. In There is a famous park over there called Priyadarshini Park, PDP popularly known as, and there you can go and see. We have built in three cricket pitches for people who want to practice batting and bowling in a safe environment, in an environment which is uh, relatively free. You do not need the schools or colleges permission, you do not need anyone. People can just go in, pay and play. That's the basic model. And after that, obviously, the Sportobuddy Sports Arena in Andheri came about, wherein we uh, uh, to start with, we had four turfs, multi-purpose turfs, wherein you could play cricket and football. And then there were two more turfs built which were specifically for football. At this moment, these six turfs are already running, but at the same time, we have one half basketball court which will be FIBA approved, which is being built over there. Along with that, we also have three more cricket practice nets which are going to be built there. They are all in the process. I can show you a couple of pictures, what is coming up, and all of that. We're just waiting for the COVID to open, and once that is done, people can actually come in and play. We believe there are not enough basketball courts in Bombay wherein individuals can come in and practice. Most of them are either in schools, colleges, or in YMCA. But apart from that, somewhere where you can just come and practice, there are not many enough places. So this basketball court is being developed from that perspective, wherein we want to give more space to upcoming ballers, as they are called in the basketball parlance, ballers. So we want more ballers to come in, who can actually come and practice their sport as and how they want to. All okay so far, Tushar? Everyone else? I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Vishal, we can hear you.
The next bit is from 2016 to 2021, what all we did. How did we start? The company started, then we started a couple of our own events and our own events, our own IPs basically. After that, in 2018, we launched the app and the software. 2019, we upgraded those parts. We added another other events, other sports. Right now, the situation is that as of today, Sporto Buddy can do auctions for any sort of tournaments, any sort of sports. To give an example, last year there was something called the Mumbai Games. In Mumbai Games, they had the auction model in which we managed to auction for 8 different sports and close to about 150 different players across those 8 sports. So we did an auction for them. For scoring, we can do scoring for football. We can do scoring for cricket, of course, and we have added basketball and volleyball to it. Basketball for 3v3 is already live. Everything else is being built as and how. The last 1 year, 15 months, COVID has really upset our plans with part of development. But otherwise, yeah, we are on track. We are doing pretty well. We intend to increase the scoring to up to 7, 8 different sports by the end of 2021 or 2022, or early 2022. That is there in the offing. These slides, if you can see, so basically this is how our scoring looks like. Be it cricket, be it football. Uh, uh, these are the screens that you can see. So from the player's perspective, if you're a player, or you are the audience, or if you are someone who does the league management itself, these are the screens that you'll be able to see and you'll figure out. Uh, so from the league operator's perspective, what is it there for the league operator? So what SportoBuddy will provide to the league operator is the technology to digitize the sports league management, wherein you can do your registrations, you can do your player management, wherein you have your player details, player stats. You do your scoring, you do your standings, and it's all under one roof. It's all in the same software. So the same software where you can do an auction, you can also do player scoring, and you can do stats. So stats could be multiple types. I mean, since you're all sports management students more or less, and you have been exposed, all those stats that you see on screen during any particular sport, be it cricket, be it football, be it basketball, all those stats come from one place. That place is the player themselves when they're playing that game, and the stats are immediately recorded. Now, to show those stats is very important, because otherwise the player themselves will not know uh, what did I do in that game. Was I uh, did I perform to my potential? One, did I do justice to the game that I played? And if I did not, then where was I lacking? So the purpose of this software is to get people to give out more and more of these stats to players. These are typically available only at the very top end. So be it an IPL or an international tournament or whatever. What about school kids? What about college kids? What about your private tournaments which happen in building societies, corporates? Tomorrow, a corporate. So I know for a fact, Yes Bank does a corporate tournament. I know Central Railways does a corporate tournament. Are the players informed about their stats, or are they given a chance to improve on their stats? If you are not made to, if the players are not made aware of their stats, then what are they going to do? So the league operator and the sports person, this is the juxtaposition. This is the position where all three of us meet. Sportobuddy at the center, the league operators, and the sports person. The sports person is going to get his stats. He's going to get his data to find out what he's done where. And now this could be anywhere. So also to give an example, so last year we actually gave out our software for a volleyball tournament in Dubai. It was done 25th August 2019 for 4 days. So 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 4 days. In the night, in the evening, starts at about 7, 8 p.m. and goes on till 2 a.m. But they were doing that entire thing by themselves. So these are the things wherein, and at the end of the day, when the players get their stats, there actually is satisfying for them. plus it also helps them improve their game. So that's basically what Sporto Buddy is. I After this we will just jump into this infrastructure bit to get everyone on board. Any questions so far? Anyone has anything to ask? Is anyone anyone? Can I proceed? Okay. Okay, I'm going to proceed now. So sports infrastructure, the topic for today. We need to spend the maximum time over here, and that's what we are going to do. Let's start with infrastructure. Now, what do we mean by infrastructure, and what is sports infrastructure per se? Sports infrastructure, if you say, it's a very broad term. Broad in the sense there are so a ground, okay, a football ground, a cricket ground, a basketball court, a volleyball court, uh, a table tennis table with the so an indoor badminton court. So these are all in pieces of infrastructure, sports infrastructure, and everyone has their own requirement. Right now, what we are going to be doing is about an outdoor uh, piece of infrastructure, outdoor sports infrastructure, which is mainly either futsal, which is football, mini football is called futsal. So mini football or futsal, or a multi-sport wherein people want to play box cricket, they want to play throw ball, they want to play volleyball, perhaps all outdoor sports, but can be played in a confined and a restricted area. Now these turfs are the easiest for a layman who does not have access to a large land bank. This is the best way to set up a sports infrastructure, because not everyone can go and get a cricket ground which is like 2 acres. So it's very big. So it's just not practically possible for anyone in a rain. But turfs, the smallest one can be 5,000 square feet. That is very easy. And because of the size, it can virtually be built anywhere. It could be on the ground, in the basement of a building, on top of a building, on the terrace of the building, in mid-level, anywhere. So it is a cost-effective method of introducing sports infrastructure to the people over there. The also it is very hyper local. It is mainly meant for the people who stay in and around. Now, for a city like Bombay, having I'm assuming most of you are from Mumbai, or at least are aware of Mumbai. So every particular locality in Bombay will have its own turf. The primary target of that turf is also the same locals who stay in and around, perhaps in a vicinity of 1-2 kilometers. There'll be very few participants or players who are willing to travel 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, unless their friends ask them to. So it's a very hyper local solution. They are very compact. So as I said, the smallest one could be 5,000 square feet per turf, and then you can multiply. So tomorrow, if you have 10,000 square feet, you can actually make 2 turfs. Now that multiplication can be done as and how is required. That multiplication can be done depending on what the reason for your building this turf is. And because of the size, I say that they are, why would you want a turf? Why? Because they're compact, they are small, they can be easily managed, made first and then managed later. Maintenance is relatively easy. All that you need, I mean, like any other piece of infrastructure, you need to do some maintenance, but it's very basic in its own nature. You just need to make sure it's not tearing up, it's not breaking down, and you just need to do the bare minimum. And because of low maintenance, it also requires very less staff. So the manpower requirements are also quite short, they're quite small. uh, some questions on this for you guys, if you have. So turfs, as I said. So why are they compact? Because the turfs can be as small as 100 by 50 feet length and width, which is 5,000 feet. Of course, the international requirements are much larger, but that is okay. This compact nature helps the sportsman in multiple ways. Playing in a constrained area, developing their game for that constrained area. So, assuming tomorrow you are surrounded, so as a player, if you're playing a football or a cricket, if you're surrounded by three players, four players on one side, you need to know how to move. So, movement is a very big thing. And so basically, it adds a different layer of a challenge to a player. Someone who has played on a turf will actually find the open ground to be much easier compared to the turf. Uh, Also because the size is deceptive, but you need to do so much running in the small space that it actually improves your stamina. Be it for cricket, be it for football, there's a lot of running that happens. The game is much faster, so you have that challenge that happens typically. Give me a minute. Okay. So next point that I was talking about is maintenance. uh, it is easier to maintain, unlike mud grounds or unlike other pieces of infrastructure. Turfs are relatively simple. They have a cage, they have a mat, they have lights, and you don't need to do anything except just take care that they don't break. That's all about it. So you have some basic maintenance which keeps going year in, year out. That's all the maintenance that you need to do. But apart from that, you don't need to do much. Um, uh, most people given a warranty of 3 years, 5 years when you're building a turf. So all of that is uh, included in the overall uh, scheme of things. So overall maintenance becomes very, very less. It becomes easier for someone who is a turf owner to maintain the place. Same manpower, because of low maintenance. Manpower. If there's no maintenance, why do you need extra manpower? Typically, a turf will require max 2, 3 people. That also, one is like one who acts like a turf manager, one who is doing the cleaning of the place for basic maintenance. And if you're running long hours, you will need to do it in shifts. But apart from that, you don't need much manpower. Whereas if I have to compare it with a mud ground, if I have to compare it with any other piece of infrastructure, there's a lot of maintenance, a lot. So example, if I have to give example for a football ground, unless it's a mud ground for the school grounds that we play in Bombay, which are barely, which are not maintained at all. So I'm talking about slightly better in pieces of infrastructure. Be it a football ground or a cricket ground, there has to be groundsmen. They need to make sure that the pitch is ready. Need to make sure the ground has even grass all around. Or if there's no grass, then there's no grass at all. It cannot have patches. So there's a lot of maintenance which goes in, and because of the maintenance, there's also a lot of cost attached to it. So all of this, all in all, the turfs are compact, easier to maintain. So basically, less maintenance and less manpower as well. Going back, so what are the typical requirements? Okay, let's take a 2 minute pause. Let's see if anyone has any questions so far of what I have told. The first three parts, which is why turfs compact, easier to maintain, and less manpower. So only the 3 points. Let's see if anyone has any questions so far, or if you want to ask something. Guys, unmute yourself if you have a question to ask, please.
I have a question.
Yes. Can you say your name first before?
My name is Sharan Prohit.
Hi, Sharan. Yes.
Hi, sir. So I just have one question. Like, if you are building a turf, so how to deal with a situation which happened just 2 days prior in the Mumbai as well, which is a cyclone alert and all.
Hmm.
So how to build a turf in that situations. Like in my area, many of the turf got damaged due to cyclone, and the turfs got severely damaged due to cyclone. So how to deal with that stuff?
So, Sharon, what happens is that when all of this is being built, most people will figure out the common scenarios of what happens in a city. So, example, when you're planning for Bombay, the requirements will be very different compared to a Pune,
Okay.
compared to a Bangalore, compared
Okay.
to Chennai, perhaps compared to Delhi, because of the weather.
Okay.
So everyone always takes into account. Now there are certain sorry, wherein, I mean, a cyclone is not something that happens every day. At least it wasn't happening until the
It
last
was
2 years in Bombay. So
yes.
there is something. So what will happen is, going forward, people will figure out that a cyclone is a likely thing in Bombay that can happen now, and therefore we need to plan for it. I'll give you a unrelated example. For when I was in Dubai in 2007 and 8, there were rains in Dubai, rains which were unheard of in Dubai.
Yes.
It rained for 2-3 hours. The
Okay.
city was submerged. Do you know why?
Because they didn't plan for the proper drainage system,
So
because
they
they know.
never had rains, therefore they
Yes.
never had drainage. So
Yes.
some of the things are, you will plan for them if you are anticipating. If you're not anticipating it, then you cannot just plan for it. But now that Dubai has rains for the last
I-
10 years, they've actually made an entire drainage system. So the system of working around it changed.
Okay.
For us in Bombay, up to 10-15 years back, the temperatures would always hover between 25 and 35.
Yes.
But in the last 10 years, the temperature ranges have changed. Now we are going as low as 10 degrees during winters, and
Winter.
as high as 40, 42 during summers.
Yes.
So Jatin has a question. Jatin, let's come back to these questions after some time. Anyway, Sharon, I think I answered your question, but we'll come back to this later. I will proceed with the next part, right?
Yes. Sure. Sure.
So, typical requirements: money, space, electricity, labor, licenses. These are the 5 main requirements that anyone and everyone will have, and you need to plan for that. So, with finances, typically any infrastructure project in the world is very capex heavy, which I am assuming as students you should have learned, or you should learn. Uh, Infrastructure projects are very capex heavy. They have a lot of capital expenditure. A typical turf of 5,000 square feet, as I mentioned. So we are going to take that base of 5,000. Will incur anywhere between 8 to 10 lakh rupees to make the turf. There are a lot of other expenses which go into it, but minimum to minimum 8-10 lakh rupees is there, because it involves a lot of layers. So right from civil to metal, which is fabrication, to turfs, electricals, civil work, I mean, there are a lot of layers. So you need to account for that. But basic finance, you will need to make sure that you have minimum 8 to 10 lakh rupees. Now, as far as uh, bank loans or similar, if you're thinking whether the bank will give me a loan, so these projects are like any other projects. If you have enough collateral, the banks will finance it, the banks will fund it. But if you do not, then they will not. So there's nothing much that you can do there. But your basic turf will cost you anywhere between 8 to 10 lakh rupees, and this is the basic ballpark. Any extras that you do on top, you want to make it better, they all add up. They all add up. It is like, uh, tomorrow you buy an Indian brand, but if you say that, okay, no, I don't want an Indian brand because the quality is not great, I want to go for a European brand or an American brand, it'll definitely cost more. And that's how costs will need to be factored in. But 8 to 10 lakh rupees seems a decent benchmark for a 5,000 square feet of turf. Space. Now, international futsal courts require larger futsal pitch, The dimensions are 38 to 48, 42 meters in length, and width is 18 to 22. Now, when I gave the example of 5,000 square feet, 5,000 is nowhere close to international sizing. This is a sizing that is, I think, most of the metros, or rather Bombay. So let me just say Bombay, because I believe Delhi also has a lot of space. Chennai has a lot of space. Bombay, because of the paucity of space, uh, turfs are as small as 5,000. Anyone in Bombay would have gone or visited any of these turfs, which are very small. Uh, 5,000 square feet is where, simply put, you can play a 5v5 football. Five people on each side. I hope everyone knows 5v5, right? So 5v5 football is needs minimum 5,000. It is very small. Usually they consider a 5v5, a 5,000 square feet size of turf is good enough for 5v5 for kids, and 6,000 is enough for adults. 6,000 square feet of space is enough for adults for a 5v5. 7,000 is even better. Now, the dimensions for international futsal, they need to be between 7,500 to 8,000 for a basic 5v5. So they are much larger. They are not as large as the football ground wherein you play 11v11, obviously. So, but they are in that range. They need to be between 7,500 to 8,000 square feet. So, if I have to just add up the numbers on an average basis, uh, 40 if 40 meters is the length and width is 20, that's about 800. So that's about 20. Sorry, how much is that? 40 into 20, 8,000 square meters. So about uh, 8,000 square feet. Sorry, my mistake. 8,000 square feet approximately, give or take. So yeah, that's how the space needs to be. You need to figure out what space you want, but they can be as small as 5,000. You can have multiple. So 5,000 into 2, 5,000 into 4. If you have a shortage of space, it could be 3 turfs as well. It all depends. There is a lot of math that will go into it. Depending on the budget, depending on the money that you can make out of it, there are a lot of factors that you need to consider. The most important slide, any infrastructure work need a lot of municipal permissions. Fortunately, sports do not require a lot, but there are one or two for which you will need to go to the municipal authorities and you will need to get their permissions, especially when you're building something on top of the ground. So, be it an example, like if you're building if you're going to be making a building, if you're going to be making a turf, if you're going to be making a garage, you need to go and approach the BMC and say that this is it. But because it's sports, they're usually a little relaxed because they know it's only used for one purpose. The weight on it is not too much. There's not too much environmental issues because of that. I mean, they need to see a lot of factors. The municipal authorities have to look into a lot of factors of what is affecting where. So as long as so they believe that sports does not affect a lot of those other parameters, so that's why getting permission for sports is slightly easier, but you still need to go them. When you go there, the first step that you need to do is when you're applying, you need a drawing of your plot. You need to submit the proposal of what is going to be built there, how much is it, how, what is the height and all of that. So there are a couple of drawings that you need to submit to the municipal authorities before you start building that. uh, all of this is done. Once the municipal permissions are done, after that you can go to the electricity guys and apply for the required electricity. Now, typical, as I have mentioned over here in this particular note, that electricity costs are mainly because of the lighting which you require after 5 6 p.m. in any city, basically after sunset until the time that you are going to keep it open. And apart from that, there will be a 5-10% extra electricity which will be used for your staff members, for the cabin that will have the booking process and all of that. So you need a little bit of electricity over there. But mainly is the electricity for the turfs which you will require post sunset. Uh, okay. Now there are many different civil contractors that are involved in this job. Many type of contractors. Civil contractor will do uh, two things. Electrical contractor will do something else, and there are other vendors for the fabrication, for the netting, padding, for electricals, etc., which we will be talking in detail. So, what and who is the civil contractor? The civil contractor is going to advise on the existing surface. The surface is basically if it's on a ground, if it's on a terrace. So, example, we'll just take the example as a ground. So, if it is a ground, what is the moisture content in the ground? Because when you are building something on top of it, it should not fall down. Now, a popular example of thing, if the ground is not perfect, of things sinking in will be buildings which fall down, or an example what is happening. So the leaning tower of Pisa, if people are aware, it is sinking, it is tilting. Why is it tilting? Because the ground is not able to take the weight. So similar for the turf also, the ground needs to have adequate compaction. That compaction will make sure that the ground, that the thing on top of it is not sinking below. So it all depends. Now, so a civil contractor will do these things. He will check for the moisture content. He will check for the compactness of the soil. He will do a couple of soil tests. So there are soil tests which need to be done to figure out what kind of soil it is and whether it can take the weight. So the soil which is say probably next to the sea is very different from something which is in the middle of the city. So the soil needs to be tested for the way the structure can be made. So the civil contractor will help with that. After that, they will, so once that they decide that, based on that, they will decide what is the type of concreting that you need to do and how thick the layer needs to be. The layer needs to be 2 inches thick of concreting, or 3 inches, or 4 inches. If it goes beyond 4 inches, then they need to put a steel mesh, a mesh of wires, rods in between the concrete, to make sure the concrete stays proper. With 2 inches or 3 inches, it may not be needed. But if 4 inches are needed sometimes, then you will need to do that. So there are other things. So the civil contractor will do all of that. Apart from this, the civil contractor will also inform you how will the drainage and sewage take place. If there is rains, where will the water drain out? The water needs to drain somewhere, and they will need to figure out where the slope on the turf will be and how should it be done, so that for the players it is not immediately apparent that there's a slope on the ground, but the water still needs to slide off. So they will give an adequate slope for the water to slide off. So that's the typical job of a civil contractor. Next is the electrical contractor. The electrical contractor will recommend the lights that will be required, the intensity, the calculation of the total power. Again, this is all dependent on the surrounding. Uh, Example, so now my space in Andheri called the Spotobody Sports Arena. We have 6 turfs. It is surrounded on 2 sides by some buildings, but which are far away and has no street lights whatsoever. Now, a situation like that will be very different compared to say a turf being built in the middle of the city in as part of the building where there are plenty of lights. So what kind of lights are required in the premises will be very different, and that an electrical contractor can only inform you of what you need to do in terms of lights. Typical lights, we know that to just illuminate the turf, you need say 200 watts of lights, and for the entire turf of say 5,000 square feet, you will need about anywhere between 12 to 16 lights so that the turf area is adequately illuminated. But how will the lights be put? Is the surrounding light affecting the light that is coming here? The light should not be going into the eyes of someone. I mean, when they're looking up, they don't need the lights in their eyes. So all of those things, all of those calculations, an electrical contractor will do for you. Someone who specializes in electrical services. There are many companies who provide an end-to-end solution as far as electricals are concerned, and they typically do all of that. Next is the fabrication, which is also very, very important. Based on the plans that were submitted to the municipal authorities that you got, based on the recommendation by the civil contractor, you will start working on the structure of your turf. A turf is nothing but a cage that you're building so that the play is inside that cage and not outside. All the play is restricted to that particular area. Okay. So there's a cage, so there's a framework, there's the proper word is a cage. It's a cage, and the cage has nets on all sides. So be it any game that you play, it's all inside that particular area only. The if you're playing a if you're playing football, if you're playing cricket, if you're playing volleyball, if you're playing throw ball, any game where the instrument of play, which is the ball in this case, should not be going outside the premises and will be constrained inside. So the fabrication work needs to be done basis the original drawing and with keeping in mind that there are going to be players who are going to be playing, and they should not be getting hurt. Okay, so it's a lot of work that goes into it. Turfs can be made with many materials. It all depends on the availability of metal forms available in and around your locality. If you're in Bombay, X is easily available because of Y reasons. And if you're in city, Y and then Z is available. I mean, there is no rational to it. Every city has its own dynamic. So we have seen turfs which are made, the structure is made with I-beams. I have seen structures which are made with angles. I have seen structures which are made with pipes, heavy pipes. I have also seen structures which are made with flats. So it all depends. People use whatever is available. Typically, the function of the cage is just to be sturdy, strong, and stand in place. Should not fall down anytime, right? So doesn't really matter as long as the metal is strong. And whatever fabrication works, so basically fabrication is basically a lot of welding which goes into it. So as long as it can be welded and it will keep its strength, you don't really need to think about anything else. So the fabrication work will happen. Now for this also, the either a civil contractor can guide you at the start of the process, or when you get a fabricator on board who's also a kind of a vendor, you can ask the vendor, the fabricator, to tell you, okay, if this is what I needs to be done, then what is the best material available and what is it going to cost. There's a lot of manual labor involved. A lot of people will go start do welding. They will need to fit everything in the ground, and then they need to start building on top of it. Turf mats, very, very important. Turf mats are, there are like over 100 variations. There are so many different variations. You have turf mats which are probably 6 mm and then go on to be 50 mm. So you have all the sizes in between. There is fibrillated, there is defibrillated, there is woven, there is non-woven, there is PP, there is PC, there is PE. Lot of different mats available. Most of the mats in India today are either Chinese origin or European origin. You also have American, but Americans not really preferred for smaller projects. But you have Chinese and European. The quality, the durability, warranty will all depend on the quality that you're buying. So what are you buying today? A turf for football is available for as low as 30 rupees a square feet. And I know of European turfs which are available for 250 rupees. So it all depends on what you're buying and why you're buying. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of buying this? If your purpose is you are building this as a business, then something like a 30, 40, 50 rupees material should be okay, as long as you're going to do proper maintenance. If this is where, example, Mumbai City FC is going to practice, then I would definitely not use a Chinese version. I will use a better quality. I will use something wherein when that team comes in who are professionals to a different level, they get that quality and experience that they're playing on. At the same time, making sure that they do not injure themselves. Injury is a very big factor. You need to take care. If you have noticed, whoever has played on turfs would have noticed injuries, abrasions, people falling down and their skin has abrased. I mean, there are a lot of different type of injuries that happen on different types of turfs. So it all depends on what quality you're using and why you're using. Again, people will start explaining when you go on Google. So today Google is one of the biggest resource. When you start finding out what is the appropriate turf, uh, they will tell you. So Google will give you the answers, but the vendors themselves will also give you options. They, when they know what you're looking for, they will give you the appropriate options that you should or should not be buying depending on what you require. Again, as with everything, for them it's a business, for us it's not. So there needs to be a balance of both, and everyone needs to figure out the what turf mat, what mat do you really want to buy. Something which is durable, which has a warranty, but it will give a lot of injury to the players. Are you okay with that or not okay with that? If you're not okay, then what is the step that you have? So you need to use a lot of you have to use a lot of mind to it. Uh, the next step after fabrication, after the turf, will be netting and padding of the entire cage. Now let's remember that the cage is a metal cage. It's made of metal. Lokhand ka bana hai. Hindi mein it's called lokhand. So it's made of metal, and people, human beings, are going to be playing inside. When they play inside, and sports, it's sports, right? People can go and bang against something. When they bang into something, you need to make sure that they don't hurt themselves, they don't injure themselves. It's a constrained space, we need to figure out. So the and all the pieces of the metal need to be padded in such a way that no matter what, when you go and bump into it, when you go and fall into it, you are not aggressively injured. You're not injured as if someone has chopped you. It can be an injury, yes, but it will not be to that effect. It will not be to that great extent, which will actually create a problem for your sport. So the padding needs to be done. Now, the metal part is typically the 4 sides or maybe 6 sides. That's all that a turf will have. But the other portions cannot be open. So you have the net all around. So you have net. So again, when a player goes and bumps into a portion of the turf, which does not have the metal structure, which is open, there will be a net over there to protect that player. So the net is going to help the player stay inside and avoid any injury. So this needs to be done for a particular turf. And for me, one of the last things will be the staff duties, the booking and all. So this is part of the manpower, wherein the manpower, when a person, as I said, for a 5,000 square feet turf, probably you need 2 or 3 people at best. Who's doing so? One person acts as a turf manager who manages the bookings. He is the one who collects all the money for it. He is also the one who develops PR for your new and regular customers. And then the supporting staff will make sure of cleaning and maintaining that entire place. And utmost important, that the customer should have the best experience when he's there on your turf. Uh, that is the basic job of the staff. Uh, Okay. I think I have. So basically, the steps to begin work, I believe I have identified. I spoke about identifying the space where you want to build, uh, the drawing of the civil structure and metal cages that you need to have, identifying the various vendors for civil work, metal work, turf mats, fabrication, electrification, etc. Then the structure needs to be prepared or for the concreting and the metal structure. After that, there will be electrification, installation of the turf mats, and then netting and padding of the metal cage. I believe this is the information that you need when you are going in to build a turf, these are the points that you need to really remember, that these all things need to be done no matter what. If you have not taken care of all these things, you will not be able to go and build a turf for yourself. This is where I say thank you, and I will now start taking questions so that we can get this thing further.
Vishal, I have a question out here. So basically, we have explained to them everything about the business of sports, what we usually do. So one thing I would like you to address to them is about the time which is needed to, build this setup from the scratch. How many months are required for a particular task, and what is the eventual time period taken for completion of the entire project? Can you throw some light on that for our friends out here?
Yeah. Typically anywhere. So assuming you have the property already with you, assuming that you already have access to the property, it can take anywhere from 1 to 2 months for making and developing this particular piece of property, piece of infrastructure. Again, delays more or less are due to decisions not being taken on time, or additional information required during the project. So basically, if you have not started a project, if you are still consulting with all the people, so if you do not count that process, then the actual making of the turf will not take more than a month, not more than 4 weeks, in fact less than that, unless you are not sure of the entire process, or if you're not sure of what quality you're using where. But other than that, this is barely a month or 2 months job. So I'm talking about up to 4 turfs, I think very easily less than 2 months. Anything more, then it all depends on the complexity of the project. How complex is the project? Of course, most cities will also have the issue of weather. So if you are running into the monsoon, obviously it's a no-no that you cannot do something when you're around the corner of a monsoon. But say assuming once you if you start your project, say after October, November, you'll have a clear 8-9 months to execute the project. Fingers crossed, it should not take so long. It should take barely a month or two, but you need to take care of that. Anyone else?
Tushar, I'm sure you guys must have a lot of questions about this. I mean, this is kind of your future field, and I'm sure you should ask a couple of questions on this.
Yes, Vishal. So there are a few turfs which I've seen that for the subbase, instead of concrete, they put this stone subbase.
Right.
Where they put jelly stones and then keep compacting it. But you mentioned about concrete. So what would be the difference in the base for that?
So as I said, all of this depends on what you're building. If you're building for football, if you're building for cricket, and where you are building. Tushar, can I ask you, where did you see this happening? Was it in Bombay or somewhere else?
I've seen it in Mysore and also in Kerala.
So basically, as I said, the civil contractor will take into account the local weather over there, the compacting that is required for the soil over there, the ground, the base surface, what the ground is like. There are a lot of factors, so it all depends. And of course, there are a lot of different technologies. Concreting is just one, which is the easiest. There are other options available. As you said, this jelly thing. I have heard of it. I've not seen it myself, to be honest, but I do know that there are people who use different kinds of material to fill up the sub base and then put concrete on top. So what happens now with this jelly, from what I understand, technically what will happen is, the jelly being slightly more absorbent, the concrete on top will have slight movement. So basically, it will allow for some movement and less abrasion. When that is there, someone who's running, so as we say, sports person should not run on concrete because it spoils their knees. So with this particular technique, it may be very possible that the player will not get their knees so badly affected. It will reduce that issue. It will reduce the issue of hurting your knees. Jatin, for your question, any kind of insurances, as with any other infrastructure projects, you have to take insurances from the relevant authorities, uh, from the relevant insurance companies, and they have different clauses depending on what you're taking. Uh, Even for something like a cyclone or a flood, if it is not part of routine. So, example, in Bombay, I doubt anyone will insure you for floods, because now flooding in Bombay is a very much a part of it. So no one will insure you for flood. If they do, they're going to charge a very high premium because they know this is going to flood. But if it is an unforeseen foreseen situation, then they will give you insurance for it, and that you have to speak to them. Infrastructure projects do not work like a regular life insurance and like your term plans or your motorcycle insurance or your car insurance. It's a very different thing. When you present your file, they will see what the project is, what is the project value, what are the points in which the infrastructure, that piece of infrastructure can get affected, and based on that, they will offer you the relevant insurance. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Hi, my name is Christopher.
Hi, Christopher.
Yeah, hi. As you said, there are like mainly three sort of turfs that you get as in manufacturers, which is Chinese, European, and American. So are these like the standard manufacturers of turfs around the world? And either
Uh,
ways, you're assuming that you've seen turfs in other countries as well. Where do you think India stands in terms of the general quality of football turfs?
Okay, interesting question. So firstly, I will tell you. So India imports turfs from around the world. So I know that people import turfs from Turkey. I know people who import it from the Eastern Europe part. So there are a lot of manufacturers of turfs now. Whose quality is better and whose is not is very subjective question basis the way they are made. As far as infrastructure in India is concerned, I believe I will tell you, I believe India is a very price conscious market. For us, price tops everything else. We do not care about quality. We do not care about what we do not care about anything else. For us, it's price. Agar price में बैठ
Right.
रहा है, so I hope everyone's comfortable with a little bit of Hindi. Okay, so I'm just going to
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
So as long as uh, जब तक सस्ता है, तो एक बार देख लेंगे, no problem. We will manage if the price is cheap. Now, as I told you, Chinese turf is available for as low as 30-35 rupees. How can you beat that? I mean, how will you compare that with something which is European or made in Turkey or somewhere with which is 100-110 rupees? What is the comparison? On what basis will you compare? That is a very individual thought process that everyone needs to put. So now, assuming you are the newer generation, I am a little old today. Karan's younger to me, you are younger than Karan. Now, if that happens, you are the newer generation. When you come like, no, I don't want a cheaper one just because it's cheap. I need to look at the quality first. I'll figure out the price later. If you are able to objectively do that, then you will have good pieces of infrastructure. Otherwise, you cannot. So you need to focus on that. Again, very subjective question, but that's how it is. Uh, Christopher, I hope I answered, but if you have additional question, please do let me know.
Yeah, you did answer. So I also was wondering,
Hmm,
as you said, it's a subjective approach to this situation. So,
correct.
given the uh, basic nature of a sports business that India has, which is still new,
Right.
so for people of our generation
Hmm,
who are still very, I don't know, skeptical about getting into sports business,
right.
um, for someone who lacks support like this compared to
Hmm.
other business, how much does that affect in terms of choosing the quality or prioritizing quality over over price to
Uh,
someone in this country?
So I will tell you. So when you make a business proposal, now I'm telling you, I'm answering this on the basis of a business proposal. Tomorrow, if you want to build a turf, okay, let's put it that you want to make a turf, you are interested in entering in that particular business. When you're doing that, you have a you will first make a P&L. You will make your balance sheet. You will make your profit and loss. Basis that if I am doing this, and this is my expected revenue, which is this. Now, based on that revenue, you need to figure out to what extent are you willing to forego that revenue, because every infrastructure project today in India has will take anywhere from 12 months to 12 months is 1 year. So anywhere from 1 year to 10 years to recover the cost. To what extent are you okay to let that revenue go? So if your as I in one of the previous slides, I told you that the bare minimum that you need is 8 to 10 lakh rupees. Now, assuming at 10 lakh rupees, that 10 lakh rupees of revenue, if you are able to make up in 2 years, are you okay? From the third year, so first month of the third year, you will start making profits, but you will recuperate that 10 lakh rupees only over a period of 2 years. It will take 24 months to recover that. Are you okay or not? So it will all be basis of the business plan that you have. uh, the business plan will be basis what kind of clientele can you expect, for how long can you keep the turfs operational in one day. Now see, we need to understand every day has only 24 hours, no matter what. You cannot expand that 24 hours. Can you expand that 24 hours? So one turf will give you only maximum of 24 hours of business.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you cannot do anything. You cannot expand the hours. So this is business has one fixed variable, one fixed element, wherein no matter what, you cannot exceed 24 hours. So you can have a fantastic client, but you can only give 24 hours to them. If you have an hourly booking slot, you can book it for 1 hour into 24 hours per day, but that's about it. So your mathematics, your calculation will be basis that. So this will be part of your business proposal, wherein you will evaluate to what extent can I or can I not use the 100 rupee European material, or should I go in for something which is in between, which is 50-60 rupees, or I need to use something 30. Other than that, the other consideration that you need to have is what is the kind of sport you're going to be playing. If people are going to be playing cricket, they need a something which is suitable to play cricket. If they're playing football, they need something which is suitable to play football. How old are the kids? If your permanent clientele is all kids below 5 and 6, the amount of terminal velocity, so when they fall and all, the amount of terminal velocity is so low that even with a 30 rupees turf, they may not get so badly injured. So these are the aspects that you need to figure out on who your clientele is. Now, I know someone whose intention is, today I will use a 30 rupee turf, no matter what, I don't care. 30 rupee turf, worst case, I have to replace it in 2 years, and I don't care. If I use 100 rupees, which will make my break even go to 3 years, 4 years, I don't mind replacing a 30 rupee turf every 2 years. So that is a consideration that you need to figure out with your own self. In your business proposal, you will figure out all of those issues.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a
Someone else. Someone else asked a question on chat. Any idea?
Oh, yes, so there's Jatin who's asked,
I
what is the
answered
average number?
Jatin, but there was someone else.
He's asked one more question, sir.
Okay. What is the average number of booking hours per day that you feel is minimum to set up a 5-site? Say the price per hour would be 1,000 rupees. Again, Jatin, that is part of a business proposal. If you're spending 10 lakh rupees, I don't know how much you're spending, right? If you're spending 10 lakhs, or you're spending 20 lakhs, or you're spending 8 lakh rupees, it will all depend on that, right? Your Excel sheet will tell you how much do you need to sell and what is the potential. I don't believe that's a answer which I can give you objectively right now.
Vishal sir, I have a question for you.
Hi, Rehan.
Sir, my name is Rehan, and I am, running an academy in Mumbai known as
Right.
Protein. Okay.
Known as?
But I have a concept, for schools mostly where, I give proposals to school where we go for all multiple sports, It's not only one sports like football. I
Correct.
give an, option of football, basketball, each and every sports, name. But like, PP tiles are involved at the same time, turfs are involved.
Right.
So what happens, for these kind of projects, how can we get, funds from the market? Is there any possibility or is there any, source of, I'll say investors who can, help us out with this kind of structure?
So
Because
let me.
yes,
Okay,
sorry, I'll
sorry.
just complete my question that because my target is not, on hourly basis or something like that, my target is schools where I go for grassroots.
Correct.
So option is like, because I target rather than going for an academy where I have 100 kids or 50 kids, I directly go for school which has 1,000 kids,
Right.
and my charging also is very less, around 200 to 300 rupees per head. Okay. So that is compulsory basis from the school, and at the same time, it's like an activity period for the school where I groom them for grassroots at the same time for the inter-school competition or for the major tournaments. Even in the evening, I target for the after school academy, which will be open for other kids also. So my rate of, the investment goes around like, 50 to 1 CR anyhow, because it's a multi-sports arena, like everything comes into picture, basketball court, badminton court, kabaddi courts. So all different structures. So the investment is around 50 to minimum 1 CR. But my contracts are mostly for 10 years with this school. So where in the fourth year, I'll directly, the investment is completely out, but the interest on it has to go, with till 10 years. So is there a possibility where we have some companies or, people who can back us up, with the financing or investment part?
Rehan,
Yes.
interesting question. And again, this question is not as related to sports as it is to business.
That's
Like any business investor, like any other businessman, if you have to ask me, or if you're saying that this is the business model, this is what I have, any businessman is going to ask you, when will I get my money back? How much money will I make? If you are asking me for 1 year, I will give you 1 year. I have no problem to give 1 crore. When will I get my 1 crore back? And how much profit can you make out of that 1 crore for me?
So I have
if
the
you can
calculation
answer those two questions, so if you can answer those two questions, and if the businessman is satisfied with those two answers, then he will give you investment. There is no dearth of investment in India today. इंडिया में मैं मानता हूँ, so मतलब I have about a 20 years of working experience, 20 years of career in various different fields. I have stayed in Dubai for some time. I was in Singapore for a couple of years, and I have traveled 12, 15 countries or whatever because of my work. I don't believe money is the problem over here. पैसा एक नहीं 10 करोड़ मांगोगे देगा
जी.
बिजनेसमैन बैठा है पैसा देने के लिए, उसको वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन दिखाओ. इफ यू शो हिम द राइट वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन, you will get money. With the right idea, money is not a problem.
Okay.
You tell me the amount of money. Do you want 5 crores? 5 crores. You say 10 crores, 10 crores. I will find you investors. If the value proposition is right, you will get 10 crores also. But the value proposition, who gets what when?
Okay.
When will the businessman get his money, his principal amount? When will he get his profit? What is the attached risk to it?
Okay.
Right? Basis that. So it's a very business question. It is not related to sports at all, I believe. I believe it is mostly a business question that you need to figure out. But with the right value proposition, I'm sure there are a lot of investors. India is a very nascent market in terms of sports. I believe India has a fantastic future in the next 15, 20, 25 years as far as sports is concerned. We are going to be growing in sports, leaps and bounds.
Okay.
But it's all going to happen in the future. We all need to take proactive steps for it, and it will happen.
So the reason for me to give you this question was because I am from a coach background, not from the business background. So for me, the mostly going on a mud ground and coaching them, so less of people coming into picture at the same time. So my proposal for the school was why? Because to get a good proper infrastructure with the package investment from our end, so that I have the best of the grounds, best of the facility for the kids for the sport purpose. At the same time, in this same price, I'm giving coaches also to the schools. So the company is making very less profit. The main target is to make a name out of it, in the market, that we are into the coaching field. But for this purpose, what happens, to handle the investor at the same my coaching team, it is going up and down more, because the investment, for example, if it is 1 CR for a project, and I'm having a contract with the school for 10 years. Right. So it is, the return will be in 10 years only, but will be double of it. For example,
so as I said, it's a very business question, Rehan. मतलब वो है ना, proper business का है question. Money is not the problem. I don't believe money is a problem. It is a right value proposition.
That's right, sir.
Right. Sarah asked a question. So can we say well-planned turfs could be the future of sports in place of grounds due to environmental factors? I do not believe so, Sarah. They all have their own function. A small ground can never replace a big ground. A big ground can never replace a small ground. It is all about availability of space. Most of the metros have a very big issue with space. So that's why turfs work very well in metro cities. If you ask me about any tier B, tier C city, I don't believe turfs are doing that well, except maybe Pune, and that too, if you consider them to be tier 2 city anymore. I don't believe Pune is a tier 2 city, but turfs will work only in very densely populated areas. They will not work where there is plenty of land, plenty of grounds available. But again, it's a question of demand and supply. So it's quite variable. There is no environmental factor with regards to sports, because sports do not pollute so much. There is, a sports ground, in fact, is one of the best, because it's just empty ground. You are not doing anything which will be detrimental to the environment per se. And even if it is, it's like so minuscule compared to whatever else is happening, that the environment is nowhere concerned with this particular question. Jatin, to say 10 lakh rupees to your previous question, 10 lakh rupees, but still you need to put it on an Excel. At the rate of 1,000 rupees, you can realistically sell how many hours in a day? I don't believe anyone is able to sell more than 8 hours a day, considering Monday to Friday are school days, working days, college days. So days, the daytime is practically empty. From 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. you cannot sell Monday to Friday. From 6 p.m. onwards, you are able to sell, but consistently on an average basis or per week basis, I doubt you can sell more than 4 or 5 hours in those time slots. So again, you will need to do your maths on that. Without maths, without making a proper Excel sheet, you will not be able to tell what is the profitability for 1,000 rupees and how many slots you need to sell. That is something that you need to put it on an Excel and then figure out from there. Anyone else? Anyone else has any questions, guys? Tushar, if you want to ask around.
No, Vishan, nothing from our end.
You have any question, Tushar, Christopher, Sharan? Clear. So basically, my intention today, I'll just clarify my intention today. My intention was to get you guys to know what an infrastructure project, a turf, to set up a turf, what all it will entail. To get you the broader picture, I am not sure. I hope that this information was enough to know of how to start that project and all the factors that you will need. Apart from this, anything else, please let me know. As Jatin wants, we can easily share an Excel on the working, which is a business model. You need to figure out the number of hours and all of that. So all of that you will need to put in, you will need to figure out what that model is, business model. But apart from that, this is the basic information.
Yeah, I just wanted to also ask, given that you've been in this business for quite a few years now, and you are doing it successfully. How different is a sports infrastructure business compared to like the more typical business lines in the country? How challenging is was it to go through the years, making sure on holding on to this business model in India? What do you think?
Okay, the multiple parts to this question. Uh, Sports business is extremely difficult. Uh, it's not that easy because you are dependent on a lot of people. Till date in India, sports is still an extracurricular activity. It is not mainstream. So, unlike say example a school wherein people need to force and send your children, people don't need to send. Parents don't need to send children for sports. Adults don't need to go for sports today. uh, I am a working individual. If I don't have money, I don't want to go and play. If I have money, I'll go and play. As a student, I may have interest, but my interest is usually fulfilled in the school. So the
Right.
turf business is not very easy. One. Having said that, it also depends on where you're planning or thinking of putting up the turf. If there is ample sports opportunities in and around where you're planning, then obviously turf business may not do well. But if you're in an area wherein there are not enough schools or not enough grounds or not enough sports grounds, there are not enough places for people to do recreation, then the turf business is very good. It all depends on what you're offering. Today, as I said, Sportobuddy Sports Arena is building the first FIBA approved basketball court, a half basketball court, which will be FIBA approved. Why are we doing that? Because I believe that where we are, there are not enough places for ballers to go and play. You have to go either to a school premises. Where have you seen basketball courts? Where can people go and play basketball? Be it school or a college or at best a YMCA. YMCA also many. I'm assuming you're a Catholic in
Yeah,
between,
yeah,
right?
I'm a
So
Catholic.
a YMCA again, they are the only ones who have basketball. We have not heard, at least in Bombay, we have not heard of anywhere else people can go and do play basketball. So, like a turf, the basketball court also needs that audience. So we are trying to build that in anticipation that there are people who will want to come and play, because this is something which is open for us. This Sportobuddy Sports Arena uh, was usually working till about 11 and 12 in the night, all 7 days before Corona, before COVID. And in between, when the turfs did open up in Bombay for those 3-4 months, it was still doing every evening business for cricket and football. I'm assuming that if we give people an opportunity to play basketball, people will come and play basketball as well. It all depends on what you're offering, if you're in the right space. So, being from the sports background, if you are a sports person, you will know, okay, I am a sports person, but I believe this is something that is required over here. If you are able to answer that question satisfactorily, then you will have the answer, then you will have a business proposal, and then you will be able to do something.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else? All questions answered. Anyone has anything else, you can reach out to us. You can reach out to Karan or myself. We are able to answer. We will try and answer as much as we can. Tushar, you can give out our email addresses to whoever has some questions. We would be glad to help people out, either for understanding purposes, or if they are trying to work out something, then we are still there to help them. And we can answer whatever question there are. Karan, any last words that you have before we sign off?
Tushar, one more thing I would like to tell you here. I mean, all of you who are, especially the students from NASM, if you can, after this session, make some notes, make some pointers, make some case studies or anything that you have in your mind, and reach out to us, and maybe we can do another session on this or a different topic in which we can be able to help you out in any other way possible. for your curriculum or for your career also. We'll be happy to do that.
Sure, Karan. We'll try doing that.
That sounds good.
Anything else, or are we going to end the session now, Tushar?
No, I guess that's it. The last session was supposed to be the Q&A. If anyone has anything to ask Vishal or Karan, you can ask. Otherwise, we can end the session.
Let's call it over here. Thank you very much, Tushar, again. For me, it was a good session. Have not done a webinar per se. I've spoken to many people like you, students from different colleges, but that was all in person. The webinar was the first experience for me. But thank you very much for inviting us, and I hope we have answered your questions. And if there are any other questions, please feel free to come back to us.
Definitely. Thank you, Vishal. Thank you, Karan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vishal.
For the
Thank you,
webinar.
Karan.
Thank you, Vishal.
That's a great
You
webinar.
guys have a nice day, and everyone take care of yourselves because of COVID. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you guys. All the best.